Brian Casalia from Johnsburg, New York, up in the Adirondacks. Took 3.5 hours. Pete did a tune for me back in May. Totally excited to meet him. It was worth it.
How you doing? My name is Dan Cummings. I'm better known as Cobra Dan throughout New England. We're here at the Performance Dyno Fall Dyno Day annual event here. That a little bit of a smaller group than we're used to today, but had some big numbers nonetheless. I think our biggest number today was 854. I've been working with Pete at Performance Dyno for 15 years now. Performance Dyno, people come from all over the East Coast, and I would only go to one place for this aspect of the jobs that I do. I do all modifications, modular Ford engines, Cobras, Ford GTs, Lightnings. We had a $400,000 Ford GT here earlier. There's only one person that I would trust to do the tune for that, and that would be Pete at Performance Dyno.
If you look here, he's got a stock upper pulley and it's called a 6-pound lower, so these make about 8 pounds of boost stock. This will bring it up to 14 pounds of boost with the supercharger. So what we're going to do now is try to program the vehicle.
Hi, I'm Len Johnson, and I'm here at my brother Pete's dyno shop in Loudon, New Hampshire. The shop is known as Performance Dyno. Performance Dyno has been around for about 10 to 12 years in the southern New Hampshire area, and Pete is one of the premier tuners on the east coast of New England. He uses a laptop computer with the help of software from companies like Super Chips Tuning or HP Tuners to get into the factory tune to unlock it, and it allows him to make changes using a laptop.
Johnson. I specialize in custom tuning Mustangs. I've always been a Ford guy since I was a kid. I always had Mustangs. So all the way back to when I was a teenager, my first Mustang was a '68 Mustang, and that was back in like 1984. And since then, I've owned a 1968 Mustang, a '65, a '66, a 1969, a 1988. 2004 Cobra, a 2008 GT, a 2014, and a 2015. So I like Mustangs. So what we do at the shop is we actually custom tune it. So a lot of being like typical guys that can't leave the cars alone. So with these new cars, because they're all computerized, you can't just add parts, go fast parts, and expect them to go faster. The factories, the way they develop the PCM control systems they're looking out for their warranties, so they don't adapt well. So what we do is we basically, when we bring the cars in, we modify the program on the car to work with the additional parts that these guys put on. And what they do is they want to make more horsepower, so you need to upgrade the parts to do that. Bigger fuel injectors, fuel pumps, whatever. And we load that stuff into the program and load it in the car, and then we dial it in. Where these guys just want to make more power than their buddies, so they just endlessly throw parts at their cars, and every time they do, it's got to come back to me to be adjusted. So you get business over and over and over for the same customers as they buy cars and modify, and they have to pay us to make everything work together. And with all the EPA emissions, we also have to make sure they can pass their inspections. So we make sure that what they do, we consult them and to make sure that they still will pass emissions so they can drive the cars on the streets. And today it was basically called a Dyno Day. So we had an event where guys can come in and for a few bucks, we put them on the dyno and they can see what they're making for power. It's basically for Mustangs. And we do it cheap. We charge $50 a car just to see what they're making, and what it does is generate future business because they see their buddies that are all making more power than them. They start buying parts and they bring them back and have to have them tuned. So we just use it as a way to generate more business, and it's also fun. We have them come from everywhere. They come from Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Brunswick, Canada, Maine. They come from everywhere just to see what the cars will do. And we had guys today that put down as high as 850 horsepower at the wheels. That calculates up to about 1,000 horsepower at the motor, and these are street cars. They're not race cars. They don't race these cars. They drive them on the street.